All right, so you're getting ready for a chief data officer interview. And that's a big deal,
It
right?
is.
We're talking major influence, big earning potential, but also a ton of responsibility.
Hmm.
But, we've got your back today. We're going deep with RoleCatcher's Chief Data Officer Guides. They have resources on the career path itself, sample interview questions, and even AI tools to help you prep.
Yeah, I think what's fascinating about the CDO role is that it really sits at the intersection of data expertise and strategic leadership. So you're not just managing data, you're actually shaping how the entire organization uses it to make decisions.
Exactly. So let's kind of jump into that interview landscape a little bit.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher highlights 9 common questions that pop up in CDO interviews, and these are like your bread and butter. So we're going to break down each one and give you the inside scoop on what the interviewer is really after.
And what I think is really cool is RoleCatcher has this huge library
Hmm.
of over 120,000 questions. And you can actually tailor your prep to specific companies and roles using their AI tools. And we'll sprinkle in some tips on how to leverage that as we go.
Awesome. Let's kick things off with the first question from RoleCatcher's Interview Guide. Describe your experience in managing and analyzing large sets of data. It seems pretty straightforward, right?
It does seem straightforward, but I think what they're really looking for there is not just like a laundry list of projects you've worked on, but really like what is your approach to big data? How do you ensure its quality, and how have you used insights to drive business value?
So how should someone structure the response to a question like that?
Yeah, I think the key here is clarity and impact. So choose a specific project where you handled a significant amount of data and walk them through the process. Like, how did you clean and organize the data? What tools and techniques did you use for analysis? And then most importantly, what were the concrete results you achieved? Because numbers speak volumes here.
I bet there are some pitfalls to avoid here. What should people be careful about?
Definitely avoid being vague. So don't just say, I used Python. You want to be specific. Like, I used Python's pandas library to perform time series analysis. And that revealed a seasonal trend impacting customer acquisition costs by 15%. See the difference there?
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Give them those aha moments, those actionable insights that show that you're not just crunching numbers, but you're using data to drive strategic decisions.
Precisely. And this is where I think RoleCatcher's AI can be a real game changer. You can actually input your response into their platform, and it'll give you tailored feedback based on the specific company and role that you're interviewing for.
That's incredible. Okay, so what kind of follow-up questions do you think they might ask to dig a little deeper on this topic?
Yeah, so they might ask you to elaborate on the challenges you faced during that project and how you overcame them, or how you communicated those findings to non-technical stakeholders. So be ready to showcase your problem-solving skills and your communication abilities.
Awesome. Okay, moving on to question number 2. How have you implemented data security measures in your previous roles? This one's all about demonstrating your understanding of risk management and protecting sensitive information.
Absolutely. They want to see that you take data security seriously and that you've actually implemented safeguards to protect sensitive data.
So what's the smartest approach for tackling a question like this?
Again, be specific and highlight your accomplishments. So discuss the types of data security measures you've implemented, things like access controls, encryption, data masking, regular audits. And if you have any certifications or training in data security, definitely mention those.
Yeah, I think it's always good to kind of, you know, tout your certifications and your training. Now, I'm sure there are things that we want to avoid when we're answering this question. What should people steer clear of?
Avoid just listing technical terms. So don't just say oh, we implemented encryption. Actually explain why you chose those measures, how they mitigated potential risks, and how you ensured compliance with regulations like GDPR. So again, you're demonstrating your understanding of the bigger picture, not just showcasing your technical knowledge.
And this really ties back to a key point in RoleCatcher's career guide. They talk about the importance of data governance for aspiring CDOs. And it's not just about compliance. It's about establishing processes and policies that ensure data integrity, quality, and ethical use, which is a huge deal these days.
Exactly. Data governance is like a core competency for a CDO, and showcasing your understanding of this in your answers demonstrates strong leadership potential. And again, RoleCatcher's AI can provide tailored feedback on your response, ensuring it resonates with the company's security posture.
So cool. Okay, so for this one, what are some potential follow-up questions an interviewer might throw your way?
Yeah, so they might ask about specific security incidents you've dealt with and how you responded and the lessons you learned. Or they might inquire about your approach to educating employees, about data security best practices. So be ready to demonstrate your proactive thinking and leadership in those areas.
Got it. All right. Moving on to question number 3. How do you ensure that data governance policies are followed by all stakeholders in the organization?
Hmm.
Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of like implementation and driving cultural change.
Yeah, this question is all about leadership and influence. They want to know you can create a data-driven culture where everyone understands the importance of data governance and follows established policies.
So how can someone effectively demonstrate that in an interview setting?
Share concrete examples of how you've successfully implemented and enforced data governance policies in the past. So did you develop training programs, implement monitoring systems, create incentives for compliance? Be specific and highlight the positive outcomes of your efforts.
What would be like the biggest mistake to make when answering this question?
Don't give a vague answer like, I make sure everyone follows the rules. That's not leadership. That's just stating the obvious. So instead, showcase your ability to motivate and engage others. Build consensus. And create a culture of accountability around data governance.
This connects back to the career stages RoleCatcher outlines in their career guide. They talk about how experience as a data analyst, data engineer, or data scientist, those are all valuable building blocks for leading data governance as a CDO.
Absolutely. Those earlier roles give you the technical foundation, an understanding of how data flows through an organization, which is essential for effective data governance.
And again, RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your response. It can actually analyze the company's existing data governance framework if they have one, or their industry's regulatory landscape. And you can use that information to showcase your specific understanding of their needs.
Right. It's all about demonstrating
Yeah.
that you understand their specific needs and challenges when it comes to data governance.
What potential follow-up questions should we be prepared for here?
They might ask about how you deal with resistance to data governance policies, how you measure the effectiveness of your program, or how you stay up to date on evolving data governance best practices. So think about those scenarios and how you'd approach them authentically.
Great points.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to question number 4. How do you prioritize data initiatives based on business needs? Well, this one's all about strategy and alignment.
Yeah, this question boils down to understanding that data initiatives shouldn't exist in a vacuum. They need to be directly tied to the organization's strategic goals and deliver measurable business value.
So how do you convince the interviewer that you're capable of that level of strategic thinking?
Showcase your ability to connect the dots between data and business outcomes. So share an example where you successfully prioritized a data initiative that addressed a specific business need. So how did you identify the need? How did you align the initiative with strategic goals? And how did you measure its success?
And what are the pitfalls to avoid here?
Yeah.
I imagine getting too technical could be one.
You nailed it. Don't get lost in the weeds of technical details. Focus on the business impact of your work. They don't just want to know you can build a fancy algorithm. They want to know you can use data to solve real-world business problems and drive positive change for the organization.
I love that. And again, RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly helpful here. It can analyze company reports and presentations to identify key strategic priorities, which you can then weave into your response to demonstrate that you've done your homework.
Exactly. It's about showcasing that you understand what's truly important to the organization.
All right, what kind of follow-up questions might come up after discussing this topic?
They might ask about how you handle competing priorities, how you manage stakeholders with differing perspectives on data, or how you adapt your approach when business needs change. So these are all great opportunities to demonstrate your adaptability and strategic thinking.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground with those first 4 questions. Let's jump into the next one from RoleCatcher's list. Question number 5. How do you ensure data accuracy and completeness? This might sound basic, but at the CDO level, it goes way beyond just cleaning up spreadsheets.
Yeah, it's about having a company-wide, systematic approach to data quality. They want to know that you understand that. Bad data can lead to bad decisions, and that can have a huge impact on the business.
So how do you show them you've got this covered?
You talk about your experience, developing and implementing data quality standards. So have you defined data quality metrics, created data validation rules, established data cleaning procedures? This is where you get specific and share concrete examples from your past roles.
Yeah, and don't be shy about getting into those details, about how you tackled data quality challenges in the past.
And here's a crucial tip. Don't frame data quality as someone else's problem. As the CDO, you're the champion for data quality across the organization.
You're responsible for creating a culture where everyone understands its importance and contributes to maintaining it.
RoleCatcher's Career Guide highlights this beautifully. They talk about data quality management as a core knowledge area for CDOs, but also emphasize the leadership skills needed to drive it.
Absolutely. It's a blend of technical expertise and leadership. And don't forget, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze the company's industry and data landscape to identify potential data quality challenges they might be facing.
That's such a valuable insight. By incorporating those potential challenges into your response, you're showing that you've done your homework and you're thinking about their specific needs.
Okay, what potential follow-up questions should we be prepared for on this one? On data accuracy and completeness.
They might ask how you measure data quality, how you handle data discrepancies, or how you communicate data quality issues to different stakeholders. So be ready to showcase your communication and problem-solving skills.
Great advice, all right. Moving on to question number 6. Describe your experience in managing data privacy and compliance with regulations, such as GDPR. This one's all about navigating the complex world of data protection.
Yeah, data privacy is a major concern for any organization, and they want to know that you're not just aware of the regulations, you've actually managed compliance in the past.
Yeah, it's not enough to just say you know about GDPR or CCPA. You need to show them you can walk the walk.
Exactly. So brush up on those key regulations and be prepared to discuss your experience with things like implementing privacy-enhancing technologies, conducting privacy impact assessments, and developing data retention policies.
Those real-world examples are going to be gold in the interview.
And don't forget the certifications we mentioned earlier. Having a CIPP or a similar credential demonstrates your in-depth knowledge and commitment to data privacy.
Awesome. And RoleCatcher's AI can be really useful here, too. It can analyze the company's specific industry regulations and privacy practices, allowing you to tailor your response and show that you understand their unique data privacy landscape.
It's all about connecting the dots and demonstrating that you can hit the ground running on day one.
What potential follow-up questions should we be prepared for when discussing data privacy?
They might ask about specific data privacy challenges you've faced, how you've handled data subject access requests, or your approach to staying up to date on evolving regulations. So be ready to think on your feet and showcase your expertise.
Great. Let's move on to question number 7. How do you ensure that data is accessible to all stakeholders in the organization? This one's about striking that balance between accessibility and security.
Yeah, this question is all about being a data enabler. You want to empower people across the organization to use data effectively, while also protecting sensitive information.
So how do you convince them you can walk that tightrope?
Talk about your experience implementing data access controls, such as role-based access data catalogs and self-service data platforms. Share examples of how you've made data more accessible without compromising its integrity or confidentiality.
So maybe you could talk about how you implemented a data governance framework with clear ownership and access levels, or how you used data visualization tools to make insights digestible for non-technical teams.
Those are great examples. It's about using your experience to paint a picture of how you approach data accessibility.
Yeah, and one important point. Don't oversimplify the complexities of data access management. Security is paramount, and you need to show that you understand those nuances.
This ties back to data architecture, which RoleCatcher's Career Guide emphasizes. Knowing how data is structured and stored is crucial for designing effective access controls.
Absolutely. And of course, RoleCatcher's AI can analyze the company's data infrastructure and suggest relevant data access solutions that you can mention in your response.
It's another way to really tailor your answers and demonstrate that you've done your research.
What kinds of follow-up questions might come up around data accessibility?
They might ask about how you handle data requests from different departments, how you manage data access permissions, or how you ensure data discoverability within the organization. So be prepared to discuss the practical aspects of managing data access in a complex organization.
All right, moving on to question number 8. Describe your experience in developing and implementing data quality standards. This one's all about setting the bar for data excellence.
Yeah, they want to hear about your experience, defining data quality metrics, establishing data validation rules, and implementing data cleansing procedures. Share concrete examples of how you've worked with different teams to create data quality standards that meet their specific needs.
Did you implement a data quality monitoring system? Did you use data profiling tools to proactively address issues? Tell them about it.
And remember, it's not just about the technical stuff. Data quality is a cultural challenge, too. You need to be a champion for data quality and build buy-in across the entire organization.
RoleCatcher's Career Guide emphasizes critical thinking for CDOs, which is essential for analyzing data quality issues,
Yeah.
identifying root causes, and developing effective solutions.
And communication is key here as well. You need to be able to effectively communicate the importance of data quality to stakeholders at all levels and foster a sense of shared responsibility.
And as we've mentioned before, RoleCatcher's AI can be a real game changer. It can analyze the company's industry and data landscape to identify potential data quality challenges.
This gives you the opportunity to demonstrate that you understand their specific context and are prepared to achieve those challenges.
What are some potential follow-up questions they might ask about data quality standards?
They might ask about how you measure the effectiveness of your data quality program, how you handle data quality exceptions, or how you communicate those issues to different stakeholders. Think about those scenarios and how you'd navigate them.
All right, let's tackle a final question on RoleCatcher's list. Question number 9. How do you ensure that data is used responsibly and without bias? This is where you demonstrate your commitment to ethical data practices and societal impact.
This one is really crucial because it goes beyond, the technical aspects of the CDO role. It's about showcasing your understanding of the broader implications of data and your commitment to responsible data use.
Yeah, they want to see that you're not just thinking about algorithms and data pipelines. You're also considering the potential consequences of data-driven decisions.
Exactly. So be prepared to discuss your understanding of key data ethics principles like fairness, transparency, and accountability.
And, don't just talk about the principles in a general sense. Share specific examples of how you've addressed ethical considerations in your work.
Yeah, exactly. So have you ever had to audit algorithms for bias, implemented data anonymization techniques to protect privacy, or worked with stakeholders to ensure that data is used in a way that aligns with their values? Those are the kinds of examples you want to highlight.
Yeah, I think this really emphasizes the leadership aspect of the CDO role. You're not just managing data, you're setting the tone for how data is used ethically across the organization.
Yeah, and RoleCatcher's Career Guide nails this point. When they talk about data governance, it's not just about compliance, it's about creating a culture of responsible data use.
And guess what? RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze a company's public statements, code of conduct, and sustainability reports to identify their ethical priorities.
Oh, that's a great point.
Right.
Yeah, that's incredibly helpful for tailoring your response to show you understand their values and how you'd uphold them as CDO.
What potential follow-up questions should we be prepared for when discussing ethical data use?
Be ready to discuss your experience developing data ethics guidelines, navigating ethical dilemmas that might arise, or how you stay informed about evolving best practices in the field. They want to see that you're proactive and engaged with the evolving landscape of data ethics.
Great advice. Wow, we've covered a lot today. We dissected those 9 crucial CDO interview questions from RoleCatcher's Guide. And along the way, we explored key insights from their career guide as well.
Yeah, we did.
We talked about everything from managing and analyzing large data sets to implementing data security measures, ensuring data quality, navigating data privacy, promoting data accessibility, and championing ethical data use.
Absolutely, and I think it's really important to highlight how RoleCatcher's AI can really elevate your interview prep by providing that tailored feedback, company-specific insights, and really helping you craft the most impactful responses.
And don't forget, they have thousands of career guides, tons of online resources, and a massive database of employers. It's really an incredible toolkit for anyone pursuing a CDO role.
It is.
Before we wrap up, I want to emphasize one more thing. As you prepare for your CDO interview, remember that you're not just showcasing your skills and experience. You're telling the story of your data leadership journey.
That's such a good point.
Right. So connect the dots between your past experiences and the company's vision for the future. Demonstrate your strategic thinking, your leadership potential, and your passion for using data to drive positive change.
And I think it's important to remember that the CDO role is about much more than just technical expertise. It's about vision leadership and using data to create a better future for the organization and beyond.
Absolutely. And with the right preparation, a strategic mindset, and powerful tools like RoleCatcher, you can absolutely achieve your CDO aspirations.
I agree with that 100%.
We hope this deep dive has been helpful, informative, and inspiring. Good luck with your interviews. You got this.